president, still acting unpresidential. I'm in the Bronx with the evil in my residential. It was all emojis, it was never mental. The silver spoon is under fire, and the pressure vented. The times that we living in unprecedented.
Welcome to the Build and Destroy podcast, where we build on what's to come and we destroy what's done. We gather today with our usual suspects.
Yes, sir.
You know, the legendary Blue Pillar.
Yes, indeed.
The legendary Tyreek Bay.
Yo.
The legendary Red Pillar. And we got a special guest today, y'all.
Two of them.
You know, internationally known and locally accepted. My man, Pimpin Ken. Y'all know him. You know, you seen him in 50 Cent videos. You seen him in movies. You seen him on HBO with Lil Boosie. Legendary man. A very great person in the black community. So
I seen him in these streets.
Oh, you see, Blue say you see him in the streets. You know.
You feel me?
What's going on, Ken?
Hey, what's up? How y'all doing?
Man, you know, it's a beautiful day, a beautiful atmosphere. You know, we happy to have you, especially at this time in life. It's a great time to be alive right now.
Yeah, man.
You know?
All praises, man.
Absolutely, all praises. You know, Ken, you know, we from, well, you know, we have frequented the same city, you know, the legendary Milwaukee, where you're from, man. And, you know, it's very interesting the things that's going on in the world today. A lot of things that's being done now, you already did.
Right.
You know, so we just want to tap in a little bit today, man, kind of like pick your brain on a high level, you know, a different level. You know, talk about some things that can benefit our people, and talk about some things that can benefit the world.
Absolutely.
You know, Blue, I know we was talking, and man, you said that, you know, you had some things on your mind that you know you want to speak with.
Yes,
Ken
indeed. I think that we got some things we want to discuss that maybe a person of your caliber is only qualified, you know what I'm saying, to speak on. From my observation and a few other people's observation, very recently we just seen pimping go global, right? And now we're seeing nation states, you know what I'm saying, being treated like hoes. So I think it would be a very interesting perspective if we look at what's going on with the U.S. and it recently losing power and sovereignty on an international global stage, and the people that it may have treated like hoes before now coming into power themselves, grouping up and coming against the main pimp on the block. And somebody now want to put them in their stable. Pimp come out and turn around, and it ain't nobody left in their stable, and they're like, hold on. What do I do? So what do a late-term pimp do in the game at this particular point? If we look at this global dynamic of power shifting taking place in that perspective.
Okay, if you allow me a few seconds, I'm going to need a few seconds to build up what I'm about to say.
Absolutely, yes.
First of all, I would like to say the first prostitutes that ever hit this country was in 1619. And that was the descendants of Africa, you know, the Moorish Americans from the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa.
Yes.
So when they entered into this country, right, it was 100% tax on them people. That means they didn't get no food. They taxed them for everything. They didn't get a penny.
Right.
You know, so it was about 5 million of our brothers and sisters in this country at that time. So if you go by minimum wages, which was 50 cents, 25 cents, 50 cents, $8 a day, that's $4 a day times 20. So that's $20 million a day for 260 years to 1865. So you know what I'm saying? Those were the first people to get pimped in this country.
Right. So let's be
was our
very clear
ancestors. You
that
understand what
was
I'm saying?
pimping. Right.
And then after you get to that, you know, you got to also deal with the mental slavery too. So it was a process of mental slavery going on during that whole situation, right? You know, Malcolm X kind of briefly spoke on it with the Canary Islands, how they would put the brothers and sisters to a tree and cut the tree and split the body in half, take the knife and stick the knife and to the woman, cut the baby out, and hold the baby in the hand, and call themselves God. So, when you think about it from that perspective, the psychological things that we went through, Jim Crowism,
Right.
then when you go up to Nat Turner, Denmark Vesey, and Gabriel
Yes.
Prosser, and John Horst, when you start seeing the brothers revolt, and then you go into the Slave Acts of 1710, where they had mandatory manumission, where they,
Right.
it was
Manumission,
another
right.
level of pimping. Then you get this guy over there in Jamaica, a guy by the name of Willie Lynch. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you get into his program, talk about training a horse like you train a human being like you train a horse.
Bylaws of pimping.
Then you move all the way up to 1860, the eve of the Civil War, and you got African Americans, Moorish Americans, is 50% of the prison population, but we only control 1.1% of the wealth of the country at that time. So let's go up to 2023, right? And then we're gonna get to your question.
Yes, sir.
2023, African Americans and Moorish Americans only have, in terms of wealth, only have 1 1/2 of the wealth of this country. We still 51% of the prison population. I mean that we haven't
Right.
moved one iota. We know that America's 5% of the world's population, but 25% of the world's incarceration. So how can 6% of the people who are eligible to go to prison be 51% of the prison population? So you go back to let's go back to 1886. Go back to the 13th Amendment. Slavery is abolished itself when duly commits a crime. When you pimp on a bitch, they call it white slavery. But
Right.
what you call it when you pimp on a human being?
Ooh.
Slavery. You know what I'm saying? So and then you get into the 3/5 of a man. All these things is going on. Then you move to 2023, and they tell you that China is going to be the new world superpower.
Yes.
They said that China, in 20 years, have done what America done in 260 years, or 400 years in this country. China, does not have any biases. China has never dealt with Jim Crowism and so on and so forth, or the black-white situation. So China, when they go to Africa, they don't see American Negro. When our president and our people over there, they go to America, they see American Negro. Even though this brother here is from, where you from?
Africa,
He's
Cameroon.
from
Cameroon.
Cameroon. But if he go, when Americans look at him, they look at him like a nigga. But, in reality, you know what I'm saying, these are free people. They got a nationality. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying? I mean, they're
yes.
free national people. So when you take that and put all that into consideration, right, you see why Africa is doing more business with China, and China's doing business with everybody else. And what I heard is that China is going to be number 1, and India is going to be number 2. But can I go to the root of that too?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Now we're gonna get down back to the pimping, right?
Yes.
So you know what I'm saying? So y'all want a pimp perspective. Well, the first time after the Civil War, I mean the Civil Rights Movement, after
Yes.
Martin Luther King and Rapper Abernathy did what they did, and we started, Thorogood March. We started, building our community. We had Durham, North Carolina. We had Auburn Avenue down there on
Yes.
on Auburn Street, and then we had Tulsa, Oklahoma. So we had some African American community, some Moorish communities that was prosperous, right? But then, America, right? They hate us so. I mean, not all white people, but the white supremacists hate this so-called Negro so much that what he did, he allowed pimping to begin on another level. So the first pimps to come in our community was the Jews. That was after the Great Migration, after we came from the South. So
Right.
they came in the ghettos, they had what? Delis, they bought all the properties, and they had jewelry stores.
Yes.
Okay, they got rich, they moved to Israel, they moved, did what they had to do, got up out of there. Then who came next? Here come the Asians, you know what I'm saying? And they gave us Chinese fried rice, they gave us sisters' hair and nails, and then here come the Arabs. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what they do? They purify our community, you know what I'm saying? They open up the grocery stores and the gas station, and now here come the Indians with the hotels and so on and so forth. So you got to look at the collective things of how we as a people that is treated in America as a so-called Negro, right? But if you read the Bible, whether you believe it or not, in the Bible it said, Abraham, know for a surety that your people will be a stranger in a strange land, and here they will suffer 400 years. After that 400 years, they will become a great substance. 1619 to
29.
2019 was 400 years. We got
Yes.
Jay-Z, we got Kanye, we got Dr. Dre, and P. Diddy.
Diddy.
4 African American or Moorish American billionaires.
And Michael Jordan.
And that's why I started the Hip Hop Fraternity, because hip hop is like a religion for some of us, right? We all come up under that.
Yeah.
So, you know, under hip hop, it is the new Black Wall Street. You have created more millionaires,
Yes.
a plethora of millionaires under hip hop. So, you know, but the thing is, the wrong people are controlling. That's why we got, this is our organization, Hip Hop Fraternity, HHF. So we're
Yeah.
taking our hip hop back. You know, that's why we got the war show coming up this weekend. That's why we got our own radio station. We got our own social media. We got our own magazine. Because, you know, media is important. You got to control the
Absolutely.
media, the conversation.
Absolutely.
So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we've been pimped, but now it's time for us to put the pimping back. And hip-hop is what we're going to pimp, because hip-hop is the second largest export of American export.
Yes.
It's also the number one genre of music. And also, you know, it's the only thing that, you know, you see real integration. When Martin Luther King was talking about he had a dream of one day white boy and black boy would walk together. Well, you look at Hennessy
That's
and
right.
Louis Vuitton is Jay-Z. That's financial integration. You look at Kanye and Adidas, that's financial integration.
Absolutely.
So we see the dream, but see, this what God gave us. This what Allah gave us. He gave us hip hop. That Abraham, the children of Abraham, this is what we got. You know,
Right.
something
So
for sure that can't nobody do
That
but
is
us.
that is the personification and the solidification initially of the dream. You're saying, you know, these things that our ancestors for the most part fought forward, you know what I'm saying, and they laid out to say, you know, these are the things that I aspire to. Then it has manifested in hip hop. Some of us could see it for that, and some of us have yet to wake up and smell the coffee.
It's
if
gonna
you
take
will.
brothers like yourself and myself, the conscious brother. See, me being conscious, being a Moorish American, being a descendant of ancient Moabites, you know what I'm saying? Understanding the
Islam.
teachings, the Honorable Noble Drew Ali, I got a different perspective.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So when I come, I'm bringing more science. More science means more sense.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? That's why we control the awards now. That's why we control the social media, have our own social media. That's what the Honorable Noble Drew Ali taught me. If a man, you teach a man to think, he'll save himself. So it's just the thinking. As you can see it, you can be it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
So
sir.
this is what you see. You see more science. You see the manifestation of the teacher, the Honorable Noble Drew Ali, manifested in real life. And we understood that this stand here, hip hop, was governing our children, because they killed each
Yes.
other. They you know, look what Lil Wayne did. Lil Wayne turned the whole nation people into bloods. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Snoop Dogg got everybody crip walking. So if a conscious brother come in there and he get a hold to this thing called hip hop and he put the right perspective, then we're gonna start seeing brothers learn about cryptology, about blockchain, about
you know-
business, and so on and so forth.
You know, that ties right into what Noble Drew Ali said. He said, what's been done in science must be undone in science.
And that's what we're doing. We're
That's
doing
what,
it
yeah,
inside.
that's what it is.
Can we introduce our brother right here?
Who is your brother that's with you?
Yes, my name is Vado Tegia.
Yes, Vado.
I'm the COO of the company.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm originally from Cameroon,
Cameroon.
West Africa.
That-
And, you know,
That's you know, hey,
Empire.
ironically, man, that's where my bloodline is really from. Like my cousins traveled to Cameroon, and we're from the southeastern region, from a tribe called the Bamalike tribe.
Wow.
That's where I'm from.
Wow!
Oh, my God.
Wow! Look at her, Peace. You my brother. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's where we from. My blood is from.
Look,
Come
man,
from-
that's hip hop, right?
Hey man, come from a man named
Feel
King
me?
Atlas.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm
Hey,
Hip hop,
I'm
right
Babalike.
there, man.
yeah, I'm a Bamalike too. That's right, brother. Yeah.
I
I'm
was
very,
gonna bring a Babalika up here. Y'all thought I was bringing a whole son.
you know, I'm very,
You stepped in.
I'm very amazed at your insight, your ability to pivot. I definitely, you know, growing up as a youth, it's even in hip hop. I've been in hip hop media since 2001, and this is where I've seen you consistently, you know, interacting and interfacing with the culture. You feel me? I think last time I seen you was in 2020 in Lenox. I bought one of your books, you know, and this is where I got an idea that I'm like, okay, bro, really, you know, step into, you know what I'm saying, his calling in terms of, you know, consciousness, things of that nature. Can you speak a little bit about, you know, that transition? You know, have you always been on this particular
Okay,
way?
well, I've been a Mo since '76, right?
Okay.
Okay, but you know, you got to think about in Chicago. I'm born in Chicago. You got Jeff Ford. You know,
Yes,
you got
yes.
all the El Rookies. So they,
Yes.
you know, yeah, Malik. You know, so they teaching more science, but you know, we still on the block. You know what I mean?
On the block.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean. So all them brothers, I'm cool with. You know what I'm saying? The whole
Yes.
nation, right? So I know a lot of them brothers. I was in the feds with them brothers, but then you know, when I went to the pen, you know, back in early '80s, a long time ago, almost 40 years ago. So when I went there and I got to kicking it with the brothers in the moles, I got a different perspective, right?
Absolutely.
And that's when we got hip in tune with the brother R. Loville and Sister Christian and Price Bay and so on and so forth. So you know what I mean? I started moving on that accord, you know what I mean? And I got totally engrossed in the science. And I became the Grand Sheik of the Moorish Science Temple, and I was the Grand Sheik for 5 years. But my partners was out there, they were selling a lot of dope. They had a lot of money, right? And you know, I'm in Milwaukee now, you know, John now.
You already
They
know.
running the east
Yeah.
side, you know, they driving Benzes
Absolutely.
and stuff. So when I come out,
Right.
threw me a bag of money. I don't use the word,
I
but
got you,
I'm
yeah.
trying to make your audience understand where
We
I'm coming
understand,
from.
yes.
So my roadie threw me a bag of money. You know what I'm saying? Said, man, you know, come on, ride with us, and gave me jewelry and everything. So, you know, I kind of, you know what I'm saying, dropped my books. You drop your books, you lose your lessons, right?
Absolutely.
So I dropped my books and I started demonstrating with them brothers, you know what I mean? And we end up, you know, they called, I was in the game, but they called themselves the East Side Gangsters. But, you know, we was getting all the money. You know what I'm saying? We was getting
Yes.
all the money in the hood, you know, in the neighborhood. So, you know what I mean? That kind of had me into the streets, right? So I ended up buying a lot of property. Here, you know, I got a lot of his stores and everything in Milwaukee. So, I mean, I got into that side of the game, but I was always studying the science. You know, I love the Honorable Noble Dry Leader.
Yes,
I
yes,
love the
indeed.
teaching. I
Me
love
too,
the more
man.
science.
It ain't
So-
nothing like
We
that.
all
so
do.
I got my Quran at home. I got it on hard code. So I'm reading my Quran, but then I'm going out there. You know, I'm strapped 3-4 guns. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? You know, and I'm security minded too. I'm a mufti too. You know, I think like
Right.
a mufti. So
Moving like a
I got my
mufti,
mufti on. You know,
Security is the order
I
of
got
the
my
day.
black fez on, even though you can't see it.
Yeah,
right? At all
invisible
times.
black fez.
So you know what I'm saying? I'm demonstrating like that, you know what I mean? But at the same time, you know, all the moles across the country know me, so they calling me like, Brother Ivy Bay, what's up? You know what I mean? What's up? When you gonna come to the temple? I'm like, man, you know, woo, woo, woo. Now in the process of this, you know, I get like, man, about 2 deep, right? Then I go from 2 deep to 16 deep. Now I got 16 right. So I feel like Brother Solomon, right? I'm like, oh man, I ain't know. I'm like, Mose. You know, this the 2 to hell, the 5 to fail. You know what I'm saying? I'm on the 5 to fail. So I'm in my lower self. You know what I mean? I catch y'all in the ether somewhere, right? So, you know, I'm vibrating on the
He
ether
vibrating
so
low.
slow, man. I'm like
Slow.
so slow.
Yeah, man. The murky ethers.
Hey, the murkies. I'm with John the Baptist, but I created a veil about the Moorish form. You know what I mean? So you know, the ones, you know, they kept breathing on me, man, and you know, Allah just, you know, seemed fit for me to make that transition. So you know, what I mean, I just started, you know, doing different things. You know, like the brother said, you know, signs and symbols for the country. So I started teaching, you know, positivity through my movie, The Ghetto Streets and Second Streets. You know what I mean? I dropped a movie called Pimpology, and in the movie I talk about the Moors and slavery. You know what I mean? So I started, you know,
Yes.
doing it the way the prophet had done it. You know what I'm saying? The prophets, I got moles that you see and moles that you don't see. He
Yes.
said, my good moles is on the incline.
Yep.
So, you know, I'm one of the good moles. I'm teaching the moles, but you know, as I'm teaching, everybody on Instagram and Facebook at that time, and I don't know what it was, MySpace, all the moles like, Islam, Mo. Islam, Mo, because, you know, they see the teachers, right? You know, because, and, you know, I'm like, Islam, Mo, you know what I'm saying? But I'm still saying, man, the netherworld, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, they need this. You know what I'm saying?
Undercover in the wilderness.
You know what I'm saying? Coming from this perspective than they would from the other perspective. But he'll tell you, you know, we got 4,500 members, and we ain't had one fight, and we educate and teach the brothers science every day. He'll tell you I teach more science every, you know, so it's, you know, it's still.
But you
teaching
know,
the
that
prophets.
ties into the lessons in the circle. Jesus didn't go to the scribes and Pharisees. He went to the courtesans and thieves.
Yeah, the courtesans
The
and
people
thieves,
that
right.
needed a doctor. So that's what you are. You the doctor right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I admire that, man, because honestly, man, you was one of the first, you know, people, me coming out of high school, you know, seeing like, man, he got all the women. He got all the jewelry. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I was raised in the temple. So, you know, it's just like you said, man. I want everybody to pay attention to something that he said. I caught it. He said, you drop your books, you lose your lessons.
Yes.
This is to all of the new generation that don't respect the books, that
Yes.
think that the power ain't in the books. You drop your books, you lose your lessons. Your books keep you sharp. They keep you on your toes. They keep you evolving.
Indeed.
And man, the prophet, man, I'm telling you, man, if it wasn't for the Honorable Noble Drew Ali, man, I wouldn't be half the man.
Oh yeah, he
You
taught
know?
me moral character.
You know, he said the prophet, what the greatest lesson the prophet ever taught me, he said, your present choice determine your future happiness. Establish principles and forever live accordingly.
Absolutely.
So, you know what I mean? You know, no matter what people say about me, right, whether it's pimping or non-pimping, right, they can't say that I'm not a man of principles. And, you know, a man of morals, you know what I mean? Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice.
Absolutely.
You know, we didn't go all the way, but I didn't
See,
want
yeah,
to copy the mold, but I got peace,
I
love,
seen
respect.
that.
You know,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
you know, I didn't want to hit the brothers with love, peace, freedom. I didn't want to put it with freedom and justice because, you know, we wanted to do that in science, right? But at the same time, man, you know, I've been in the room with, you know, multi-millionaires. I've been in the room. I did time and been cellies with brothers, you know, ain't gonna never come home. Got life, you know, so, you know, and no matter where I go, I take myself, you know what I mean? So I'm always the same, you know what I'm saying? So you know me all your life, you know, I
Absolutely.
always been humble. I ain't never, you know, act like I was bigger than anybody else.
Never,
So, you know,
never.
I attribute that to the teachers of Honorable Noble Drew Ali. And, you know, like I said, any opportunity I get to teach brothers about their nationality, about themselves, their higher self and their lower self, I'm always in good liberty to do that.
Yeah, that's powerful, man. You just spoke on love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. A lot of people don't know that the 4 quadrants of the circle, you know, deals with love, which, you know, Jesus and Christianity. Then you got truth, which is Muhammad, and peace be upon him, and the law and religion. And then you got peace, which is Buddha, and meditation and yoga. And then you got love, truth, you got freedom, which is Confucius. You know, and he goes into the mind and into philosophy and living logic. And then you got justice that brings it all together. And you know, these are the 5 highest principles known to man. And when we walking in these, we truly walking in the will of God and walking in ourselves. So that's real powerful that you broke that down and you got that within the Hip Hop Fraternity, and that's probably why it's successful and going to continue to be
Yes.
successful.
Well, you know, we know, those of us who are conscious, we know that when the will of man and the will of Allah become one, that's when the resurrection is a fact.
Oh, yeah.
Is a fact.
Ooh, is a fact.
So, you know what I'm saying? I mean, when you think about the resurrection, right, you know, you think about the husbandman, you know, you think about the seed, you know, and it growing apace, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we think about it from the perspective of, you know, the hole in the pole, you know what I mean? Thinking about, you know, our sisters, right, the fallen humanity that we uplifting, right, which is emotion, you know, 70% emotion and 30% stability, right? You know what I'm saying? We being stability, 70% stability, 30% emotion. When you put the emotion and that stability together, then, you know what I'm saying, the child is manifested love. You see what I'm saying? So we have to be in tune, you know, with the teachings, right? All the way to the point where, you know, we manifest in love through our seed. You know, if I take an apple, right, I take this apple tree, I hold the apple up, right? I say, Brother Bay, what you see? Brother Ear, what you see? You gonna say, I say apple. I'm gonna say, no, what do you really see? You say, I mean, look, you know, I see the tree, the apple tree. What do you really see? I see the forest, right?
Seed.
Yeah, it's the seed. You know what I'm saying? Me that we talking about. So that's what we got to do. We got to plant seeds, and from there, the forest and the apple and everything else will grow. So you know what I mean? We got to plant the proper seeds in our sisters. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, we throw it. You know, the husbandman, the farmer got to throw it. You know, so it can grow apace. You know what I'm saying? And then you know you can see love manifested because Jesus said, "What I am, all man can be. What I've done, all man can do." So all of us have brother justice in us. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And once we understand that we all brother justice and that, you know, the will, which is the most important, when that will is connected to the other will, then you start seeing Allah made manifest. You see what I'm saying?
Yes,
arm,
sir.
leg, arm, head. You know, but that's a little bit over some people's head. You see what I'm saying? So we ain't gonna go too far with that. But we understand that, you know, when you see, the manifestation. Me and the brothers, we talk about all the time. We see these manifestations going on. I said, brother, you know what I'm saying? That's the power, Allah cannot be duplicated. You know what I'm saying? You think about, chapter 1, the fall of man.
Yes.
He said the thought must be developed by the exercise of the strength, right? But you know what I'm saying? Can Allah be circumscribed? No. Can he be added on to? No. So how do man become one for Allah? In thought. The thought is the cause of it all. So when you become the thought and you learn how to think, Allah said, let there be whatever. Let there be moon, let there be sun, let there be man.
Right.
So when you go into your mind, all of us close our eyes right now. Can y'all see that Rolls Royce? Let there be Rolls Royce. See what I'm saying? So that's the power of Allah. So when you learn how to use your power mentally, you learn how to work Allah's attributes, then you can do anything in this world you want to do. Because each and every one of us, man, we the spirit from the everlasting past to the never-ending days to come.
Right. So you're talking about locking into that internal dormant power that resides within us because we all are part and parcel to that seed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but
Yes, sir.
in conjunction with the higher self, the mother's virtue, however, life be just as much as love, right, or the Lord. So hatred, slander, lewdness, murder, theft, and everything that harm. So, you think of Allah in the same way you think of this room. I don't know what the temperature, if it say 70 degrees right now, to him that's cold. He from Africa. He used to 130, 120.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it depends on what degree of understanding you have. You understand? He
The
said,
gift
I
of
appointed
understanding are the
point-
treasures of Allah.
and he pointed to each and every one. I measure
We seem do best
the
do
best
unto
to
himself.
ourselves.
Absolutely.
So he have a climate of 70 degrees, but you take that 130, you take that to the North Pole, 7 degrees, they're gonna be hot as hell.
Right.
So you understand me? So
Perspective.
that's how
Right.
that's how Allah wisdom go, right? He appointed to each and every one our portion what measure seeming good to himself. Himself, not themself, himself.
Himself.
To you, yeah, to
Allah
you.
see.
So that's what you see when you see me. You see a mastermind at work, and then you say, "Man, who told you that?" Ain't nobody. I know what I'm talking about. Barado Ray, who told you so? From time, since man know that no, you can't be not. You don't know not by being told. So that being explained, right? You know what I'm saying? Me, I am a product of the Honorable Noble Drew Ali. You know
Yes,
what I'm
sir.
saying? Me. So when you see me building, we got 30 chapters. Now you see me building 30 chapters, and we teaching the science on another level. That's what the prophet. A lot of brothers even trip on Brother Elijah Puil. They trip on him, right? They say, man, ooh, he was more side. He was part of Noble Drew Ali, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Then Brother Noble Drew Ali say that he's the forerunner of Brother Marcus Garvey.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying? Each one gonna teach one, right? But everybody ain't got, like he said, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Confucius. The four corners in the circle. They going to the four corners of the world.
I call it the 100-year dynasty.
Ooh, that's
And
powerful.
I identify the triad or the trinity of consciousness. And when we look at the umbrella that each three of these brothers casted 100 years ago, we could honestly say that we're living in their prophecies, or rather their dream, because like you said about thought, man is thought, right? So the dominant thoughts of Noble Drew Ali when he brought Islam,
Marcus Garvey.
Marcus Garvey, the opinions and philosophies of Marcus Garvey, and then Elijah Muhammad. So when we look at the nation of gods and earth, when we look at hip hop, the foundation, we talk about the rooms or the mansion, the hip hop, the rooms that are built, but the foundation of the building is the nation of gods and earth and his righteous teachings. That's 73, the year that hip hop was birthed. That's when they were right there on 25th with the lessons. That's Father Allah is hip hop.
Wow.
Remember the culture, the 5 pillars, rap being one of them. The DJ, the rapper, the dancer, the graffiti artist, and the consciousness, which was missing. That's the 5 pillars. So that's what the Zulu Nation brought. That's what the nation of gods and earth, right? But they're the foundation. So RBG, everything that you got coming out of RBG is Garvey's dream, right? Everything dealing with Islam, from the 5 to the 6 to everything that encompasses that Islam. That's Noble Drew Ali. That's the sovereignty movements. That's all of that. Everything that Elijah bought, that's Nation of Islam and all of its subsidiaries. So that whole blanket right there, 100 years later, we could rightfully say that that Trinity did come and do what they said it was going to do.
Yeah, man.
Because they're the glue that kept
that's
this
powerful.
thing, you know what I mean? The unseen, right?
Seen,
'Cause-
invisible.
right, but look,
Absolutely.
something could be staring at you in plain sight and you don't see it.
Yep.
Right? So for the average person in our culture, they could look at the brother and not see what I see. Right? They could look at me and not see something. They could look at you. They could look at Blue. They could look at Tyreek. They could look at all of us and judge us right off of the cover of the book.
Right. That's right.
Oh, I read your book before. Nigga,
Yeah.
I saw you 100 years ago on HBO.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. You know what's crazy? In the Circle 7, it says the apple can appear pleasing to the eye, but the gall can be full of worms.
That's right.
So, you know what I'm saying? That
That's right.
ties right in. Yes, sir.
And also beware, young man, beware of all the allurements of wantonness, and let not the holy tempt you to excess of her delight.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
So,
you know.
right. We were born in the 70s in the Bronx, New York, right? And we always had this ethos, this energy that we belonged to hip hop, and hip hop was a thing that belonged to us. We would even call it this thing of ours.
That's right.
You know, you have taken it the next step and identified it for what it is, which is a fraternity, right? Can you tell me how did that come about?
Oh, sure.
You know what I'm saying? How did that manifest itself?
You know, I'm a most, so I think about everything, right? The thought is the cause of it all, right? So, you know, I sent my son to go to college down here in Atlanta, right? And I sent him to go to music school. I think it's the Academy of Music down here. He would call me every other day, talking about, I need $20. I need $20. I need $20, right? I said, $100, $200, excuse me. I said, $200 for what? I got a showcase. I said, boy, they pimping you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they can't help you. You know what I mean? What are you doing? You know, because it's my money. So I'm like, you know, I'm feeling pimp. You know what I mean? I'm like vicariously. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, they sock into my pocket. You know what I mean? I started studying everything, right? And because, you know, I've been on 40 million records. I've been on everybody's albums. So, I mean, it's not like I'm a foreigner to hip hop, right? So I done worked with everybody in the industry. So I started studying and I said, I wonder, is there a union? You know, is there some type of fraternity? You know what I'm saying? Is it a brotherhood? You know what I'm saying? You know, because it's got to be some kind of brotherhood that they can create that, you know, they don't be so harsh on these brothers and so, you know, after their money. So I did the research and I looked up hip hop, then I looked up fraternity, and I was shocked to see that it wasn't trademarked. So I instantly trademarked the name, Hip Hop Fraternity. Right? And then I started studying hip hop a little more, and I noticed it's always been East Coast versus West Coast, right? Always been Death Row versus Bad Boy, No Limit versus Cash Money. And when you think about that, right, that's a divisive mentality, right?
Absolutely.
And that's why the brothers is killing. So I said, man, how can they come together when, you know, the keepers, the gatekeepers, you know, the Universal, the Columbia Records, and the Sony Records is steady keeping them divided. So the brother Master P, he was doing an interview one day, and I'm looking at the interview. Master P asked Puffy, he said, Puffy, how much money did you get? How much money did you pay for this flight? He said $30,000. He said, how you gonna pay $30,000? I paid $30,000 too. And they found that everybody on the plane, which was all artists, that paid $30,000, and Universal was taking them on this trip. Wow. So they was able to compare notes. So when we formed the Hip Hop Fraternity, we formed it so brothers and sisters can come together under one umbrella, so we can compare our notes, and we can, you know, we can, you know, create a brotherhood. You know, that's why we got the jackets and the clothing line. I said, you know, why go to IG? Why go to Facebook? We can create our own social media. So I paid somebody to build me a social media. Then also,
what's the name of it?
It's called thehiphopfraternity.com. You know, so you can do everything you do on Facebook and everything. Then I said, let's do something else. I said, let's get our own radio. Let's control the narrative, right? So we created our own HHF radio. We partnered with Big Facts and Off the Porch and Beehive. You know, so they're gonna be syndicating through our radio program. Then we created HHF magazine because we want to, you know, create the, you know, control the print too. So you know what I mean, we understand that, you know, group economics is how we come together, right? That's how we build, you know, in group politics, right? You know what I'm saying? I mean, everybody else, you know, when I, you know, y'all Mo's, y'all know you go, you see Chinatown, you see Jewtown, you see little Cuba, you see a little Greek town, but you'll never see a little Moorish town, right? So you know what I'm saying? That kind of, you know, that within itself let me know that these people are making money and they're keeping their money within the circulation of their community. So it bounces 8 to 9 times. Our money only bounced once, if that. So, you know, I'm thinking about that too, right? Then I'm thinking about the education. So I created a curriculum called HHF Curriculum. So we teach them about the music business because a lot of our young people, what happens is they go into the music business and what happens is they get a deal and they get a 15% royalty, right? At a 15% royalty, they sell $1 million worth of records. They only get $150,000, and the record label get $850,000. So if you had a Rolex on, and I say, Mo, let me get that Rolex for $50, you're gonna say, hell no,
Right.
because you paid $150,000 for it.
Absolutely.
But I mean, if you could say $40,000, this be more practical, right? But you tell somebody, you know what I'm saying, me, you know, let me give you a record deal and give you 15%. You say, hell yeah. So you know what I'm saying? I mean, you could tell that the glory and the shame has been misplaced.
Glory and the shame have been misplaced.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, so they unconscious. So what we here to throw an alarm clock in the graveyard and, you know, give them some of that Moorish ism. You know what I'm saying? I mean, tell like, hey man, wake up.
So-
you know, look
so-
here, y'all brothers, we
Real
family.
quick. So in the fraternity, do you offer insurance automatically for your members and things
Well-
like that?
Well, we just started, right? So we gonna have HHF insurance. You know, we gonna have HHF union. You know, right now, you know, we let all the artists come in. They perform for free. They get in free. We feed them for free. You know, we promote them. We market them for free. You know, we don't put them under no gangster contracts and none of that. So it's all a brotherhood. Like yesterday, I had like 20 of my members go do rehearsal at another member's house. They never met each other. They all met through the Hip Hop Fraternity.
Dope.
But they close. I mean, these brothers is close. So, you know, I think this is what the prophet would love. You know, if he's seen us creating that Moorish love and that unity, you know what I'm saying? Because the prophet, you know, his ultimate goal was fallen humanity, right? He wanted to uplift fallen man.
Right.
Then you think of us like a brand, right? Because if all y'all was artists and we was all signed to Hip Hop Fraternity, say you was Tiger Woods, you know what I'm saying? You Kobe, you Michael Jordan, you know what I'm saying? Me, you LeBron James, and then we got Serena Williams, you know what I'm saying? All of them represent the brand Nike. You know what I'm saying? They all wear that switch. So we got the shield. Where the shield at? This is our shield. It's a little, well, this is a little bit more in shape. So this is our shield, right? So, okay, y'all all become brand ambassadors, right? But we pushing the brand. So say, for instance, you know, if you say, man, I want to do an album, Ken, you know what I'm saying? I said, okay, Mo, give me your album. We place it on the website, you know, on the hiphopfraternity.com. Now you dealing with a built-in customer base, which is people that's relative to your brothers and sisters.
Right.
So now y'all supporting each other. So if it's a million of y'all all buy each other album, y'all become millionaires. You see what I'm saying? So that's the philosophy.
Right.
And then when you go, like we in 30 states, when you go to New York, you know what I mean? We got a chapter in New York. You know what I'm saying? My brother Two Cardiac and brother James up there running to New York. You know what I'm saying? They in the Bronx and Harlem. So when you go there, you got brothers already there. You see what I'm saying? And same thing in Milwaukee, same thing in Atlanta. You know, we deep in Atlanta. You know what I mean?
Chapters, right?
Yeah, we got chapters in every state, but you see, but now you create a brotherhood,
Right, brotherhood.
and we can share the knowledge and the
Fraternity.
wisdom and understanding. And now you know you ain't got to worry about getting no bad deals because you got wise brothers like myself and brothers like Vado that's educating you and teaching you about the music industry, so you don't get juked by these Europeans. You know what I'm saying? Who's
And you know, Ken, you know, I come back from the days of grinding, man, when, you know, I was going to One Stop, Selecto Hits, and Gonzalez, and you seen
Judy,
me
all
working.
them,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying, in the streets with it, with the CDs and with the artists and everything.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, you said Hip Hop Fraternity, you got chapters. Are you set up like a lodge? Are you set up like?
Yeah. Well, so this how I work.
018, what is it? 18?
501c.
Yeah, 8. Yeah, you're a
No,
501c8.
we're LLC. So
Okay.
think about it like this, right? Remember COINTELPRO?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so when you think about COINTELPRO and you think about the FBI, right? You think about what they're doing with YSL, right? So we have to understand. First, I had to research, you know, the system. I looked at Huey Newton. I looked at the Black Panthers. I looked at SNCC. You know what I mean? I looked at all the organizations.
Yeah,
you know,
but
the
they
more
took
sign
time.
in the Nation of Islam, right? And I looked at the tactics of the government. And I realized that, you know, as long as we collage in one group, you know what I mean, we're susceptible, right, to indictment. So what I did is I formed what I call a license agreement, like a franchise. So you would be in Milwaukee, you would get a license agreement from HHL. So you'd be licensing the name Hip Hop Fraternity, but you have your LLC or 501c3. So you the own boss, and you're responsible for your own taxes.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? We got bylaws, no drug dealing, no killing, no none of that stuff.
Yeah.
And that's the only way that we could protect ourselves from the tricks and trades of the government that was started by J. Edgar Hoover many years ago. You know, the fear of a black messiah. You know,
You
what I'm saying?
exercising your 5.
Yeah.
sir.
So I got it where everybody is individually empowered. You know, if you go to you see Ice-T talk about it too, because Ice-T is my national advisor. So you know what I'm saying? So everybody has their own entity. So he responds for everything that happened in the Bronx in New York. You know what I'm saying? Now if he's acting up, we're gonna pull his license. So we only grant the license a year at a time. That way we can monitor. And then, you know, I don't want to have that Farrakhan effect or that Noble Drew Ali effect or that Elijah Muhammad effect. I don't want brothers looking at me. I want to create other leaders, because when you get one leader, when the leader died, the movement died. Right. So you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, we don't want that type of effect. You know, we want brothers in New York to be powerful, Hip Hop Fraternity, you know, making political moves, you know what I'm saying? Me uplifting the children, you know, fighting for reparation, doing all the stuff that, you know, brothers do. But at the same time, you know, those brothers is independent, but we all come together at thehiphopfraternity.com, the website, the social media. Like we all come together on IG, on Facebook. So now we got this social media where we can communicate, and therefore, you know what I'm saying, within our legal realms, and nobody can get indicted. And if they indict you, they can't indict me, because I have a contract saying that you only have a license to use the name, which is owned by the Hip Hop Fraternity. The trademark, the Hip Hop Fraternity, is owned by us. Now, how those brothers make money is we have apparel. So they company have because it's contractual, I just say they got a percentage of the clothing sale. So if you sell 100 jackets through your fraternity, then you're a partner in a joint venture with the headquarters. You see what I'm saying? And everybody eat that way. Everybody eat individually off their thing. And like I said, you know, you're a soul in charge. You appoint your own officials and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and that keeps us out of the realms of indictment, you know, in the realms of illegality. You know what I'm saying?
Genius. That's
Yeah.
genius.
Yes, it
I love
is.
it.
So how you become a part of that? How you
Just go to thehiphopfraternity.com. We got to open door policy. That's another thing the
Yeah.
feds, you know, can't get us on, is because we let anybody join. The federal government can join if they love hip hop. You know, you might be a police officer and like to rap. You can join. You know what I'm saying? We don't have no discrimination against nobody, white, black, European, Caucasian, Asian, whatever persuasion. Come on. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta pay dues, anything like that?
No, it's no dues. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's free because, you know, when you look at the model of some of the most successful companies like Google and IG, you ain't never paid for Gmail. You ain't never paid for IG. Why would we charge? And I think that's the problem, you know, with a lot of brothers, right? They make the mistake of, you know, being for the money only. You know, the prophet taught us that, you know what I'm saying, if you're upstanding citizen, you're a righteous person, you know what I'm saying, money will follow you.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So we understand that just being, you know, adherers of the teachings, we understand how money flow. You know what I'm saying? I mean, how money come to you. You know, so we don't try to, you know, impose any tax on our people. But we do have an upgrade. You know what I'm saying? If they want to become platinum, because there's so many of us, you know, we do say there's only a limited amount of people who can become platinum. And it's a monthly fee. That's just for the people that, you know, like we got a award show. All of our platinum members will be performing for free. But if you're not platinum, you're just a random stranger, you know, of course we have a charge like anybody else. But our members don't pay. That's been down and dedicated as A1s and day ones. So, you know what I mean? It's different perks to it, you know, but if you never pay or put a penny up, we still treat you as a brother. So our premise is not, you know, so much the fraternity. I mean, the music and all that stuff, it's the brotherhood and the sisterhood. Yeah. So that's what the whole thing, the premise is built on. You know, we want to create the family structure first, and then everything else is addendum, you know what I'm saying, or whatever.
Yeah. Yes. High level.
High level. I mean, that was a genius observation. That's genius insight. That is masterful consolidation of all of these amorphous bodies. You know, hip hop has the potential to have so much geopolitical power because of the sheer numbers, but it hasn't been organized, it hasn't been unionized,
Until now.
until now. So salute to you for recognizing and realizing that, the most powerful force that we can possibly garner is in our midst, being unmined, uncropped, and, for a lack of a better, term, unsolicited, unprostituted, should I say, is it the failure to unionize it allows it to be prostituted.
That part.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So bringing it under some form of fraternal organization and brotherhood where the dissemination of information could be free flowing. And now, security. We are now our brothers, keepers, and sisters, of course. But for the sake of just saying the free flow and exchange of information, I can't be there for you if I don't know what the problem is. I can't help you negotiate on the contract if you don't consult me. You know what I'm saying? I can't take a look at these contracts or these flight agreements or all of these things that a label might be taken from an artist.
Interesting point. I don't know if y'all know. Boosie is signed to me, right?
I was just.
I didn't.
And Ice-T both is signed to me, right? And we try working on Jack Harlow, and we got Corey Wise, from the Central Park 5. So I'm a literary agent. So
Yes.
and building that, right?
Yeah.
And putting that together, right? That was a part of the ingeniousness of it. Understanding that these individuals will one day be selling their books. So we recently. Put together, along with Vado and myself, we put together the making of the book, the documentary, which is going to be a docu-series. We also put the book out, right? So we've been on all the major platforms, The View and everything. And those brothers, good brothers, they, of course, down with the movement, they push the Hip Hop Fraternity as well. So, understanding that, and learning how to leverage relationships, and understanding who I am to the culture, all the millions of records I've been on, right? I knew that God, Allah, said I was the perfect person for this, right? I wouldn't say I'm a prophet, but I am prophetic, right?
Yes.
I was able to prognosticate a lot of things, and predict, how things are gonna move, and everything we do, like I said, we putting science in it, and we making it where it all come back to, like you said, that dissemination of information.
Yes.
And bringing it to the level where, we can raise the consciousness of our brothers and sisters, in perpetuity, right? So
yes.
It means that after Pimpin Ken, Ken, Ivy Baby, whatever you want to call me, after I'm dead and gone, it's going to be self-sustainable, right? And so also, we think about it from a corporate perspective, right? I just told you I was a literary agent, right? So, I'm dealing with CBS and Simon Schuster, biggest companies in the world. So, I know what that conversation, it sound like, right? David didn't want to be king until David sit in on that conversation. Right. When David found out what the perks was the king, it was nothing for him to kill that dude Goliath. You know what I mean? It's like, what? I get 100 concubines? I get all? David was like, let's go. So you understand me? So when you think of the perspective of being, in tune with these conversations and stuff like that, that if we can control hip hop, right? If I can bring everybody under one umbrella, everybody listening, right? The label's going to have to bow down, right? Because they no longer have the control. So as they begin to bow down, they begin to come to us, like they came to Cash Money, like they came to Suge Knight. They coming to us, it's a whole different party because we control the media, we control the social media, we control the award shows. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If y'all fortunate enough to make it Saturday, y'all just come and see the demonstration. It's a masterful demonstration. Y'all, it's gonna be at 4600 Legend Place, Douglasville, Georgia. Okay. All the celebrities gonna be there. All the celebrities gonna be there, and you're gonna see how we taking the game back, right? You know what I mean? And honestly, you know what I'm saying? I think I'm the biggest fear. I think that the record label's going to fear me because what I'm doing is I'm not only, like the brother said, I'm disseminating. I'm not just, saying, hey, look at me. I'm not saying, look at me. I'm passing the game on. Like I said, every state, we replicate
your
ourselves.
consortium.
Right. Like if you ran New York, you're a replica of what we is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, meaning not that you're a copy, but you doing the same thing we doing.
Right.
So therefore, you're just as powerful in Jersey or New York as I am in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? And I don't hold no chapters. I'm the national CEO, but I don't hold no position. I relinquished my position, about 3 months ago as the chapter CEO of Atlanta, because I want the young people to take the lead. You know, in our Quran, it says that, the prophet said the teacher, he leads the way. He leaves his footprint clearly on every span of ground, so they can see that he, the teacher, he said, a block of wood, can point the way. But the teacher himself must go that way. So I'm following the teacher. Like I said, everything you see with me is more science. You know what I'm saying? I'm 100% in on the more science.
A man who stands on the corners of the pathway and points the way but does not go is just a pointer, and a block of wood can
do the same. He knows the teachers. I'm a little older than you, so I might have to remember the lessons.
Yeah.
Get one in.
Yeah. So I want to pivot real quick, right?
Okay.
So I was checking out a couple of your interviews, right? A couple of other podcasts, right? And getting back to the pimping, right?
Okay.
And you said something that really messed me up. It's like, man, you either the game is universal. Everybody you either a pimp or you a hoe. I said, damn, I've been a hoe all my life, right? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So now this pimping game, right? Mm-hmm. You got things like there's a white boy right now, Andrew Tate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He out there selling, supposed to be teaching these people how to Mac and do the game. I guess you're digitizing this game, right? So my question to you is pimping dead? Or with this digital stuff like OnlyFans and stuff like that, how the game go now as far as, because I was talking to my man, you call it management. You know what I'm saying? So you've seen a lot of, for instance, I see like OnlyFans managers now. Cats got like 10, 15 OnlyFans girls and they're making a lot of money now. So is that where we at right now?
Well, back when we was pimping, they had typewriters. Now they got smartphones. Dumb people got smartphones. So, you know what I'm saying? All they did was went from the track to the Apple Mac, you know what I mean? They was pimping on the computer, you know what I'm saying? Just another level of pimping, you know what I'm saying?
Layer 2.
Like me, you know what I'm saying? I look at the game like what I'm doing now. I just, I figure out different ways to get money, sock it to my pocket. That's what pimping mean, put it in my pocket. So,
right.
As long as you get it in your pocket in some way, like y'all for to pimp this show, you know what I mean?
Right.
Y'all for to get paid, you know what I mean? That's what it's all about. Pimping is all about getting paid. Now, when you ain't getting paid, you paying, you know what I mean? So either you paying or you getting paid.
That part.
So I try to always be on the getting paid side, you know what I mean? So it's always gonna be a pimp in the hole. Like every April 15th, you don't pay your taxes, he coming to put you up under pimp arrest, you know what I'm saying? Uncle Sam, the biggest pimp of them all, right? I talk about that in my book, The 48 Laws of Game, Pimpology, because we really got to understand the psychology of the game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I tell people, even when you talk about pimping, right, and hoeing, you think you're talking about a lifestyle culture, right? But you're actually dealing with a lot of dysfunctionalism, right? You know what I'm saying? For example, me, when I was, 3 years old, my babysitter, the lady that was babysitting, she raped me, right? She molested me. Mm-hmm. And then, my mama, right, when I'm, it's 5 of us, right? It's 5 of us at the time. I think I'm coming, let me see, Rose, she said, I'm about the 5th one, right? So I'm coming in on the 5th side of the thing. Everybody went through this transition. So mama, the one before me, which was my brother Collie, my mama held him, she rocked him to sleep. He was the baby. Once I can't, get your ass out of here. Here come another one. Here come me, little Kenny. She rocked me. So that's abandonment issues, right? So we all have abandonment issues. We have molestation, These things happen to us as a child. And everything that happened to you as a child, you remember. 95% going through it unconsciously and it stemmed from your childhood. So now, I'm in school, I'm the class clown, right? I'm the one getting suspended all the time because I missed that attention, right? You don't, somebody, the only child, they don't have them type of problem. But when you got brothers and sisters, you want that mother's attention. Then go from that to gang banging to, going to penitentiary to eventually, pimping and for the women hoeing, because we suffering from abandonment issues. A lot of women that I talked to that I was pimping on, they were molested, right? So a lot of this stuff is coming from trauma, right? It's coming from traumatic experiences, right?
Right.
But then we call it pimping and hoeing, right? That's what we call it, right? But it's more to it than that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and a lot of people don't understand. You know, I
It's
tell brothers all the
psychological.
time that, you know, when they come to the Hip Hop Fraternity, even the Moorish Science Temple, I used to say this when I was in the penitentiary. I said, y'all come to the Moorish Science Temple and y'all see love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Y'all like, whoa, y'all back out. Like, man, they ain't down with that. The reason why they ain't down with that because they scared of
So
being
much trauma.
reenacted, you know, in terms of the
never had
abandonment
Right.
from the mother.
Right.
So if your mother loved you from 1 to 7 and then abandoned you and said, stop playing, you know, stop treating you like a baby, you never forgot that. So when you get with a woman, right, and in my case, when I got with a woman, you know, I was mashing, crashing, taxing, study acid. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna plant her like a potato and dig her later. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was like pimping with me, you know what I mean? And I was like, I had a you know, triple bypass. I had all the sympathy removed out of my heart from, you know, all of the traumatic experiences I had.
Right.
So, you know, and then I go to prison. I don't see my mama for 5 years. So now I'm incapable of love. So only thing I can do is pimp.
Right.
Because, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that seems logical to me. You know, break this, get my money. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and not have no feelings for it, because every time I catch feelings, guess what?
You get hurt.
I get hurt, or I go
Absolutely.
back to my childhood.
Right. You
And she
revert.
gonna do me like my mama did.
get hurt,
You see
but
what I'm
you
saying?
revert.
So
That's deep.
that's deep, right? But you know, but then you know, Allah's a good God, right? So He teaches us how to become more focused. So now, you know what I'm saying, when I do, I put my eye in the keyhole. And I'm looking through that keyhole. My peripheral don't have no bearings on my perception because I'm looking at my
Right.
goals and my
Right.
purpose, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
And I know, you know, crush one beneath your feet and attain the other one to your purpose.
That's right.
So you know what I'm saying? I mean, this is the teacher. So I'm always through the keyhole. That's why he'll tell you, say, bro, you so focused. Everything you say gonna happen. But then, you know,
Right.
it took me a while to get there because at first I was attention deficit, ADD, right? So you know what I'm saying? I mean, I needed attention. So now I learn how to focus. So that's what the brothers and sisters got to do. Once you learn how to focus, give you an example, right? It was this guy. He was, y'all know him. He's a big Hollywood dude right now. But he used to live in this small town in California, and they heard about his greatness, and they went to California. They went and scooped him up. They did 2 great movies, and then he said, I got this idea. He was focused, right? He said, I'm focused on this thing that I'm trying to do. They told him, no, you can't do it. They said, no one has ever financed their own project out of Hollywood. It's not going to work. And he stayed focused.
Dope.
The guy I'm talking about, he did a movie called Star Wars, George Lucas.
George Lucas.
So you know what I'm saying?
George
Me,
Lucas.
so Lucasfilm. So you know what I'm saying? Me, him being focused created him $1 billion industry. Same thing with this other guy. You know, he had this thing about this boxer, right? He had this idea about this boxer fighting and whatever, you know what I'm saying? And he went to Hollywood. All of them refused to give him a deal. They offered him $300,000, but he wanted to play it himself. He wanted to play the role himself. They said, no, you can't play it. We need a Hollywood.
Sylvester
Sylvester Stallone. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Sylvester Stallone.
focus. So you know what I'm saying? So now when I, you know, how I fight my childhood horrors of abandonment is I stay focused. Because see, the mind, the prophet was right when he said the thought was called. The mind takes in 3,000 thoughts a day. Everything we seeing is revolving around this, all this mic, all this stuff. Your mind taking all this stuff in there. So if you don't have a focus, if you don't have a plan, you know, a man that failed to plan to fail.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you don't have a plan and you ain't focused, then you're gonna revert back to something else.
let's key in on that, right? Because there's so much going on right now, and somebody can have so much noise in their mind, but really, you know, they might also have that greatness in them. They might have $1 billion idea. You know what I'm saying? For people who may be going through mental challenges and attention deficit and all of that, I would qualify that as a mental challenge. You know, somebody's wrestling with their own mind. You know, how does somebody get into that place where they can get focused and really quiet out the noise in their head to just focus on their brilliance? And you know what I'm saying? That thing.
Okay, well, I do breathing techniques. One of the things I do, I calm my breathing, right? Every time I calm my breathing, some other thoughts will come up. I can never do it without other thoughts coming up, but the way I stay focused on calming my breathing is once I calm my breathing and, you know, Vado will come up or something, or one of the ideas I have come up, I say, go back to your breathing. So that's what you have to do, is you have to just, whenever something is distracting you, you got to tell yourself, go back to your focus, go back to your purpose.
Program.
You know what I'm saying? Go back to your program. And the best way, a lot of people don't know this, and I learned this from a guy by the name of Napoleon Hill, a book called Think and Grow Rich.
Yes, sir.
You know, he said, write your goals down and read them before you go to bed, before you go to sleep.
Program. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And once you
Quantum
have
mind.
that program, that's going to dominate your thoughts. See, you know, whatever you allow to dominate your mind is what's going to be what's going
That's
to
gonna
focus.
be your God.
It's going to be your focus.
Yep. So
So it's simple. Just write your goals down, read them twice a day, and you're going to automatically, it's going to be crazy the things that's going to happen in your life.
Thank
You
you,
know what I'm
brother.
saying?
and you tapped on something that I always say, man. The brother asks, how can you reprogram? Because that's what it is. It's reprogramming. As soon as you have a negative thought or something that takes you away from your focus, don't finish it. Replace it with something that brings you joy, or go back to your focus.
Well, let's look at social engineering, right?
Yes.
The white supremacists have social engineered us in so many different ways. You look at our children, you look at Grand Theft Auto, right? I ain't saying all young children suffer from that, but it's telling them to kill, run red lights. What's going on in Milwaukee? They carjacking, they killing, they
on,
running
man.
red
Kill
light.
boys.
So you know what I'm saying? Kill boys. So you know it's programming. They playing this game and they call avatars. You know, and these kids think they call avatars. Now Facebook got a company called Meta. You know, Meta. You know what I'm saying? Just spent $10 billion on research on the Meta, and they hired 10,000 new engineers. Windows, they just bought this company called Activision for $137 billion. So, you know, so all this stuff is crazy because, you know what I mean, then you think about, you know, as brothers become more conscious like y'all, right? What is they doing, man? What is they doing now that brothers becoming conscious? They buying they what? They masters. You know why? Because they know at some point we're going to wake up. So, but they still want to have that music in those games with those avatars so they can program them. So Lil Wayne could be still talking, I shoot it up, or ooh, I shot da-da-da-da-da, or some of the rappers who say that kind of stuff.
That's why they
And-
purchasing them big
Yeah, they
catalogs.
buying the catalogs because, you know what I'm saying, you know, they going to make it work for themselves. And it's also going to continue to indoctrinate and social engineer us because that's the mind of a racist and a white supremacist. See, the white supremacist is a religion to him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, it's a theory to us, but it's a religion to him.
Yeah, and you know the KKK got a book called the Cloran.
Chloron.
The Kloran, the Cloran, and it's their religion. And if anybody go and read that book, man, you will really understand the mind of a white
Yes,
supremacist.
they are a esoteric fraternal organization.
Absolutely.
Let's be clear.
Absolutely.
They are an
Cult.
occult,
Yes,
esoteric
yes.
fraternal organization.
Right. They're
You know what
under
I'm saying?
501c8.
They are under
That's
501c8.
Actual
Yeah, see, that's
fraternal-
powerful. But
Yeah.
but it would be
Yes.
because a lot of doctors, judges, and lawyers are behind those masks.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely.
Well, you know, the one thing they said recently is that they don't have to kill someone to kill for us.
Already.
So, you know, but
Automated.
we old enough, all us old enough to remember when that wasn't happening.
Nah.
There might have been 3 or 4 murders here and there, but
This is my theory, right? And I'm glad that you brought that up because it goes to show how the generations are different. Our vantage point is our aspect of, you know, we're unplugged from the matrix theoretically because we weren't born into the program. We were alive and we saw the program right itself. Those that were born in the program are kind of trapped in the program because the only way that they can escape the program is by either watching an old movie, a documentary, to see what life looked like before crack, or see what life looked like before they did whatever they did. But we remember, like, we grew up listening to rock and roll music.
Yes.
We grew up listening to R&B. We grew up listening to a time when hip hop wasn't dominant on the radio. It was treated the way that they really felt about it, as a subculture. You know what I mean? As like something to be ashamed of. We saw the switch, right? But these children are born in it, so they don't see it like we're like, oh, that's just playing. These rappers are just joking. The ones that are born in it, they're like, yo, I need my rapper to catch a body. Like I need that to be really true. I need to follow everything they say in the lyrics because they're in it, not of it. So you can't tell a fish that it's in dirty water until you take it out of it. So they'll never even you could try to drop it in, yo, back in my days and what they like, nigga, what? It's just get money. Like that's all we know. we spinning the block, we popping tops off, and we watching the gangsters from back in the days get glorified.
Man. Come on, man.
So it's no reason for us not to get it. We watching dudes come home from doing multiple bodies on Vlad, and they don't look that bad. You know what I mean? They like, yeah, I laid 30 down, but I'm got a book, y'all. And, you know what I mean? So in their minds, they like, it's not. Until I saw I saw the other day when they sent XXXTentacion's killers up, and the judge said, we do natural life in Florida. That's no parole, right? And he rocked him. He put a spell on him, right? Told him everything that he's gonna be doing for the rest of his life. But he said in Florida, when you get hit with that life, there's no parole. So you hear life is life. So I'm like, damn, they risking it all like that in places like Florida, where they not playing with you with natural. Once they hit you with that, you know what I mean? It's like they locking you in a box for 3 lifetimes. I'm giving you life plus 3 times. It's like that's a spell.
Man,
that's a spell.
Yeah.
You get born in bondage 3 different lifetimes.
All right, so finish.
But anyway, you know, the generations are definitely different because of what they exposed to. It's similar to what we talk about analog and digital. The new babies are digital. They don't understand anything analog. So they're pre-packaged, pre-wired. They're already set to go with these devices. There's something already in them.
That's why I was saying the avatars,
right?
You know, the NBA 2K. Right. That's why, you know,
so
what's
they're
the name?
Gonna be right.
Mark Zuckerberg and all with Meta. They
exactly.
already programmed for it.
The hedge is on the future. The big hedges is on the next 5 to the 10. These COVID babies and the ones before them. So the OGs with the fraternity, the adults, the you know, the conscious ones, it's our position to build the infrastructure and to build, you know, building and they will come, right? We have to build these online communities and even these physical worlds for them with these platforms and the foundation of what the 5 pillars of what Noble Drew Ali brought and other things. Just stay on purpose, stay on value. But we could do everything right now, and these babies are gonna be the one to take that torch, and they're gonna run with it.
If I can,
built for it.
If I can comment a little bit on what you just said, you know, at the end of the day, you know, babies don't just pick up the phone and start using them. We're the one giving them the phone when they start crying. We're the one, you know, all these new generation, they are kids.
Right.
So, you know, I know we gotta educate the kids too, but we still gotta have
boundaries.
Boundaries for the oldest, because, you know, like I said, the baby don't just pick up the phone. We the one giving them the phone. We the one turning these kids into digital beings.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that accountability
they
is always,
formatted for it, but we play a part in it.
We do play a part
You know what I'm
in it.
saying? And there's a lot that we have to play a part in. It reminds me, last year I was in Los Angeles. I got picked up by an Uber driver from Cameroon. He told me he just came back from Cameroon. He had just came back during the Christmas season for Cameroon, and he was explaining to me how much his country is changing and how westernized they have become. So he was just speaking about, you know, like, yo, you know, even in my own home, he's like, now they treat me like royalty because I came back from the U.S., and he was able to buy a bottle at the club. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So now he's perpetuating the idea of what a hip hop artist is, or this level of achievement that, you know, one is able to garner a game if they come over to the United States and play this game over here. You feel me? Yeah. So he was just, you know, just highlighting to me like, yeah, man, my home is changing, and he's like, but, you know, I was on them hoes when I went back. They was on me like, white, all right.
And check this
So
out, though. At the Hip Hop Fraternity, we raising that consciousness back up. So, you know what I'm saying? Like the brother was talking about the original rap. So we taking it back. You got to remember, we got 4,500 members.
Yes.
At least about 80% of them are young people. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I was always told that a young person wasn't going to listen to no old person, right?
Right.
I'm about to be 60, right? But all these young dudes, gang members and all that stuff, they in the organization. We not had one fight. They don't argue. They don't do none of that. It's all about the leadership. You know what I'm saying? When, like I said, the teacher gonna lead the foot clearly cut. So me being the leader that I am, and the way I conduct myself, and you know, I get hard on them. I tell them sit your down. Sometimes I tell them that, you know, because I got to let them know that, you know, as an OG, I'm standing on that, right? And y'all gonna respect each other up in here. You know what I'm saying? So that morphed into them respecting themselves up outside of the chapter, right? So now these same young dudes, like I said, they was all in the house the other day. All of them had guns. I went in there for a few minutes. They had guns and stuff because that's their culture. You know, I ain't gonna tell them don't carry no guns. But they all laughing and joking. And these dudes just met each other, about 2-3 months ago. You know what I'm saying? So it is a remedy, right? It's us OGs. We can't see them and run.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? One of my members, he was trapping, right? So he had like 20, 30 pounds. He had all kind of guns in the house. He's like, yeah, Pimpin, you ain't gonna come over here, man. This the bluff. This the shit, right? So I knocked on the door. I come over there. I seen all the guns and all the drugs and shit. I said, listen, man, I'm gonna be honest with each and every one of y'all, man. I said, I'm an ex-felon, right? I said, if I get caught with these guns up here, I'm gonna go to penitentiary. Can y'all put the guns outside? Unc, that's crazy. Man, can y'all put the gun up? They took the guns outside. I said, now, if the police come in here, y'all got all this weed, right? I said, what is the purpose of having all this weed when you probably ain't selling nothing but a pound at a time? I said, don't y'all think y'all should put the weed somewhere too? They said, no, we ain't gonna put our weed pump. Woo. But I said, okay, well, think about it. If the police come in, they're going to take everything y'all got. You know what I'm saying? So I sit down with the brothers, and I was able to give them some game, and I told them how to hustle. You know what I'm saying? I said, I don't hustle no more. But if I was a hustler, I said, I wouldn't eat where I eat. You know what I'm saying?
That part,
I wouldn't have my work here. You know what I'm saying? When you can just have somebody, you can rent a house down the street, and you can have somebody bring to work. You know what I'm saying? So long and short, a few months later, I went back over there. Wasn't no weed.
Things different.
The guns was outside, you know. And they said, thanks for that game. So a lot of them just don't have no guidance. No guidance.
Rules is missing, right?
You know, because man, we used to have keys by the boatload. But they was way over there on the south side, the white side. We kept that on the white side. We grind on the east side, on our side of town. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Every time they raided us, man, they lucky if they got an ounce. This Moby Dick right here.
Now you from Chicago, right?
I'm gonna put Moby Dick on. Moby Dick, we here with the brothers, man. Where you at?
I'm enjoying moving by my thoughts.
Okay, say something to the people on the mic. Just say what's up to the brothers. We got the Mo brothers in here and HHF. Just say what's up. You on podcast.
HHF, what's going on with the fans, man? I'm in the ATL right quick. It's your boy Moby Dick, you know what I'm saying? Beats by the pound. I'm proud to be part of the family, and I can't wait to the award ceremony and see everybody.
All right, man.
What's up, baby?
They were looking forward to seeing you, man. Maybe we can set up an interview with them, man. They got a nice podcast. There's some very conscious brothers.
Absolutely, man. That's what we all about right there.
All right, the infamous Moby Dick, all the No Limit song.
Yeah.
This is the man that made all the beats.
Feel like somebody's watching me. That's Moby Dick, y'all. For y'all that don't know.
All right, Moby. Moby is the CEO of the St. Louis chapter.
All right.
Okay.
All right, brother. HHL.
You know, Ken, you said something interesting.
All right.
You know, you said something interesting. You said that you know, when they come to the Hip Hop Fraternity, ain't no beef.
No.
You know, it remind me of the movie John Wick when you went to the Continental. No business conducted on company grounds.
Well, you know what? We got GDs, we got Vice Lord, we got Gangsters, we got BMF, all of them in the HHL. But what I teach them is that if you got one pencil, you can easily break it. But if you got 100 pencils, it's gonna be hard to break. That the numbers is in the strength. You know what I'm saying? And I tell them, look, man, y'all can coexist. We ain't got to kill each other. You know what I'm saying? We can get some money. I said, all y'all got a commonality, and it's hip hop. I said, this is the thing that binds all of us together. And after about a couple of days, they do their little feeling. You know how you go to jail, you got to do watching, you know what I mean? So once they get through that, next thing they know, man, because the environment we created, love, peace, and respect, they end up being cool with each other.
Right.
You know, it ain't no drama. And next thing I know, it amazes me. I got the Crip blood and the Crip brother and the blood brother riding around together. I'm looking at them like, ooh. And so every time we do a big show, I tell people, I said, y'all lucky. I said, all these guys normally be killing each other. I said, today the crime rate has went down because ain't none of these brothers doing what they usually do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I said, you know, y'all should give HHF a hand clap for that. You know, because especially every Monday we stop the violence because I know some of the most notorious dudes is in there with us. And, you know, because they respect me and everybody know I did the time, I've been to penitentiary. I was the #1 pimp in the world at one time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I won international pimp. You know what I'm saying? Every city, you know, I'm respected every city. So they OGs is like, yeah, man, you know, because like, every time they say, hey, man, I'm rocking with OG Pimpin Ken, they like, man, you with Ken for real, man? That's my, you know, so they get that from a lot of people, right? And that brings them closer to me. And I'm naturally a father, right? 'Cause I got maybe 7, 8 kids myself. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so I know how to treat. You know, all my kids went to college. You know, I know how to treat kids. You know, I raise kids, right? You know, like I said, based on the trauma that I experienced, I made sure that my kids didn't go through that. You know, I gave them love, and they never had abandonment issues. You know, I got a couple that act crazy. My son, he act crazy sometimes, but he'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but at the same time, we use those father skills. Because, you know, I grew up with my mother and my father all my life. My father was a great father. He taught me a lot of things. So I can employ a lot of those things on them. And they all look up to me like a father, either uncle, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's how we get the respect. And I think they would do the same thing for any of those elder brothers around here. You know, if we just give them the time of day, you know. Yeah, you know, they got the pistol and all that stuff, man. I'm telling you, man, that stuff don't mean nothing, man. These kids ain't nothing but little boys and little girls trapped in men's body, man. They suffering, man. They need some
You think
real.
that's the answer, man? Like, let's say OGs like Larry Hoover come home or something like that. You think he'll be able to make a difference in the killing that's going on, man? Something like that?
Well, I don't think it's so much about Larry Hoover or Jeff Ford or Meech coming home, you know. I think it's more so, you know, the brothers that's, you know, that's home, you know, that follow them, you know what I'm saying? Me being able to get them right too, because if everything is based on one man, you know what I'm saying, me, and not the collective, then how we gonna ever prosper? Suppose he come home and do like Nelson Mandela, he died the next day. You know what I'm saying, me? That's not gonna solve the problem, right? So what we need to do, we need to get our home right. We need to get the brothers on the streets to get focused and realize that, man, we got to save our youth and that we got to give them some good game. You know, and good game just simply mean, hey, man, you know, this here, go there. Like I tell people all the time, you know, young people, they be like, you know what I'm saying, me, you know, ooh. And I said, man, listen, the reason why you're going through it because you got a lot of dead weight. You know what I'm saying? You got to get rid of the dead weight. They say, how you do that? I said, well, imagine yourself having a 10-pound book pack and you running through the mall every day. Then you take it off. You're going to feel light like a feather. You're going to be like Muhammad Ali. You're going to be able to flow like a butterfly, sting like a bee. You're ready to run because you got that dead weight. You know, get all those people out of your lives that don't mean you no good. You know, I always give this example. The eagle is the most profound of all human birds. The eagle wings spread 9 feet. When the eagle fly, he don't fly, he soar. You understand what I'm saying? So when the eagle see a pigeon, he fly higher because he say he know he's flying too low. Chickens, they do this. You know what I'm saying? Me, chicken eat their own feces. I ain't got nothing against chicken. I ate one today. You know what I'm saying? Me and chicken ain't got no problem. But the problem that the eagle got with the chicken is they can never make love because the eagles make love in the air. A chicken can't jump no more than 5 feet. So eagle gonna keep his distance if that chicken can't give him no assistance. You know, and when I say assistance, he gonna eat them. Yeah. So you understand me? So but the problem that the eagle have, right? You know, he's a fierce hunter. He can see 100 miles away, he could spot his prey. He go to grab him. Y'all seen him take them big old things on the mountain, throw them down, and take wolves and stick his claw. But there's one problem that the eagle have when he see a weasel. He see a weasel, he go get the weasel, he hunt him, and he put him up to his chest. And then once he get up 10,000 feet, he ascend 10,000 feet. He descend 10,000 feet to his death because he refused to let the weasel go. And what the weasel was doing, the weasel was eating into his chest until he ate his heart off. You know what I'm saying? So you got to get them weasel suckers out your life, them weasel bras, them weasel dudes. You got to get the weasels out your life, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's when you're going to start being successful. Because guess what, man? If Mo pours some poison in his cup, If I post a poisonous cup and I looked at him and said, "You finna die," he ain't gonna die. I'ma die. How can I drink the poison and expect for him to die? You understand what I'm saying? So forgiveness is not a gift that you give to him. It's a gift you give to yourself.
Say that again.
You understand me? Because now you're not allowing yourself to be affected by this wisdom or this dead weight. Because it's okay to say goodbye, because the word good is in goodbye. You know what I'm saying? Hey, if they can leave, let them go. You know what I'm saying? Mother had them, mother. You know what I'm saying? Point blank.
Right.
Man, that's my I say, man. So listen, you spoke on abandonment. You spoke on forgiveness and letting them go, man. And in the card deck, we classify that with the 7s and the 9s, which says that true healing is moving forward. True healing is letting it go. I call it the power of forget. I don't think people use that enough. The power of forget. Forget the things that happened to you yesterday in your childhood. You know why? Because the serenity prayer says, God, give me the strength to accept the things that I cannot change. And you cannot change what happened in the past. So the power is in moving forward. The power is in forward progression.
Well, in the Moorish science, we got what you call the circle 7. These the 2 that held, these the 5 that failed.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But the 7 is the most powerful number. The 7 letter alphabet is G.
Yes.
It's 7 musical keys in music. It's 7 colors in the rainbow. You got 7 major holes in your body.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And Allah rested on the 7th day.
That's right.
So once you understand the 7 and you understand the 7 planes of man, and you reach that higher level of understanding, then you can come back on the physical, the first plane, the physical plane, and you can manifest, right? You know what I'm saying? Because see, that's what the Hierophants did. You know what I'm saying? They raised their attention, their levels. They became ADAPs. Once they reached their ADAP mentality, you know what I'm saying, they was able to say, okay, you know what I'm saying, we know what Allah think on this level, but at the same time, I go on the physical level, I can eat, shake hands, and uplift at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So what we got to do is we got to perfect our 7. We got to understand, how powerful the 7 is. I ain't gonna say the name of the organization, but it's one organization. You know what I'm saying? They got 7 leaders. And each one of them 7 leaders passed that information down to each one of them to the 7th power. And they said within 24 hours, they can make a decision that will change the world. You know what I'm saying? So,
7 days in a year.
It's 7 days in a year.
Absolutely.
It's 7 days in a week.
Absolutely.
It's 7 days in a month. It's 7 days in a circle. Somebody said, man, that ain't 7 days in a year.
Yes, it is. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday,
I said,
Sunday.
it's 7 days in a week. It's 7 days in a year. They just a circle. You know what I'm saying?
Because people get days mixed up with dates. They get DAY mixed up with DATE.
And it leaves them DAZE.
Yeah, and they don't know that even in the DATE, you got 365, but when you break that down, that breaks down to the number 5. 3, 6, 5 breaks down to 15, which is 14. 1 plus 4 is 5. The 5 highest principles known to man. Go back to that circle: love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Absolutely.
Well,
man,
I know a lot of my core fans gonna be like, "What the hell, kids just said? What happened to the hoe? Hey, man, popping like
yeah, you know my brother Blue Pill, Red Pill, and 19 Keys. They always talk about high level conversations. Yes. We just raised the level. This what they got to see. It's levels. You said degrees, right? They only seeing your degrees on this level. Now they seeing your degrees on another level.
And they don't. The brother spoke on political. We got a political organization that's ran by Brother James Gray. James Gray is the vice president, former vice president of the Bronx to Al Sharpton. Now we created, along with him and Dr. Bay in California, who is she runs the shop. We created our own political wing, so we got HHL political committee. So we're gonna be.
I think that's my man.
Yeah,
we're gonna be working with the politics and shit and all that, because you know what I'm saying. We believe that hip hop is a financial instrument, right? So if we get enough money, we can buy the politicians.
That's what's up. But listen,
nah, I ain't gonna lie, bro. You up to date with that? Yeah, I'm amazed, bro. I'm amazed, man.
Yeah,
I'm amazed, bro.
It's been a powerful conversation. You know, we want to thank you.
This my guy.
See?
That's
Yeah.
my guy.
Yeah. He's the president of Hip Hop Fraternity.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
sharp. He's sharp.
See?
You know, he's the president of Hip Hop Fraternity.
See?
Streets of Harlem. That's
Yeah,
my
he's the
man.
president. He our president, our national
Look at
president.
that. Every living thing is bound by what?
He's
Course,
sharp
every
as a
other
sword.
living thing.
He's
Come
sharp
on, man.
as a sword right there.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
man, we moving, man.
Yeah, he's
we
a mover.
Hey, we in New York deep, bro. I'm talking about, hey,
He's
man,
an
we.
organizer. He's a mover. He's a shaker.
Yeah.
And he's always been pinned into the youth conversation or the pulse in the street. You know what I'm saying? So he's the right guy for this job, for real.
Yeah.
You know, I've always wanted to see his skill set, you know, on a level, you know, you feel me? Beyond what was being afforded to him at that time, because I think he could do so much more.
Yeah,
You know.
he's the national spokesperson and the national president. So you know, we moving. He did a lot of interviews for us. You know, we moving on a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? So you know, we ain't just about hip hop per se. We just know me. Like I said, I got Boosie a book deal with Simon Schuster. That's the
Right.
biggest publisher company in the world.
Yes.
And I, like David, I heard that conversation. So when you get privy to that conversation,
Right.
you understand the mega trends of what's going on. So, you know, me knowing that, you know, and knowing that this is the only thing, you know, hip hop is the only thing that they giving us some action at. Jay-Z just signed with Louis Vuitton. I think somebody just signed with Cash App too.
Right.
You know, these dudes is like really, what's his name? Drake over there with Sprite and Apple. You know, they just gave United Masters $50 million, Steve Stout and Jay-Z. So these folks ain't, you know, y'all got, I mean, I ain't saying y'all know. These young people don't know what they got.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
guess what?
yeah.
The reason why it's like that because it's out of their control. This stuff that morphed into, it then went into China, it went into the Philippines, you know. You got Chinese people who don't speak English, know every record that ever came out. And these people know this. So what they trying to do, they trying to capitalize on it.
Right.
You know, and we got to take control of it so we can get the market cap. You know what I mean? We can capitalize on it and we can control the whole thing. And collectively we can do it by sticking together, you know, doing stuff like this and
Right.
and coming together. Like I said, me and James is from he is square. You know James, me and him is as far as from the moon to the sun.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we come together, right? We come together. We come together under hip hop because he's a hip hop head.
That's right.
The congressman Jeffrey, he's a hip hop head. These the people that we resonate. Sister, we just was with y'all Senator name, Sister Senator Cordell. You know what I'm saying? Mia Harlem. We just had her, you know, meeting with her. You know, all of the
Right.
people that's in New York, you know, primarily love hip
Right.
hop.
All of the people that are part of the unspoken fraternity, you know, the silent brotherhood that we have always been part of. You know what I'm saying? So now that you put a form to it, you know, structure, organization, a name,
And if
and you know what I'm saying, you raising that banner up. You feel me? Now we can all come home to something
That's
and
right.
get a seat at this table.
Yeah, that's
any
powerful.
affiliation with the museum in the Bronx,
Yeah, James done doing that. Yeah, we
no brainer.
Man, we he renamed it was supposed to be Cool Hertz, Hip Hop Boulevard. He got that done. He's a judicial delegate. He's also a city councilman. You know him?
Yeah.
We heavy, man. I'm telling you, bro. Listen, bro. We heavy with this. You know what I mean? We got lawyers, everything, and everybody volunteer.
Right.
Nobody get paid.
Right.
You know, we just all doing it out of love.
Yeah, that's powerful.
I mean, so if I would have had to pay all these people, man, I would be at least $100 million in the rear.
It's your face card. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what's right.
Absolutely.
And it's a lot, you know, a lot
Right.
work bar, you know what I'm saying? A lot
Right.
greatest, you know. So we get all praises to Allah because Allah without God and without, you know, his guidance. That's why people say, man, you pray every day. Yeah, I pray every day, man, because I know that, you know, the infinite wisdom that I'm getting is coming straight from the infinite intelligence.
So,
That's right.
You know, and
Almighty intelligence.
yeah, and people like, man, you cold, man. Nah, dude, I ain't cold. He cold, man.
Right.
I ain't cold. He cold.
Give God the
You know what I'm
glory.
saying? Yeah, he cold.
All praises to
I'm just receiving the revelations. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, he the one gave me the vision for Hip Hop Fraternity and showed me, you know, how powerful this thing of ours is. As the brother say, this thing of ours, how powerful it is and how it's being mistreated. The glory and the shame has been misplaced.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Well, we know that time is of the essence.
Essence.
Man, this is a dynamic show. We want to thank you. We want to thank you, Ivy Bay. You know,
Yes, sir.
AKA Pimpin Ken. We want to thank you, my brother. What's your name, brother?
Vado.
Vado.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
You know my
Cameroon.
Cameroonian Bemelike blood brother. You know
Your
what I'm saying?
cousin.
I
That's
might
right.
be Beverly K too.
Yeah.
The way me and this man get along, I might be blessed. Hey, this brother, man. Listen,
Yeah, you might be
Hey,
Bemelike.
how many members was it when you first came? About 5? It was 5 people, right? And this brother, you know,
You brought fortune.
you know, I'm a Mo, so what I did, you know, Mo, what I did, I shined me, right?
Yeah,
I didn't give him no play, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
kept him way over there, you know. I just watched him, and you know, he always was on time. I said, bro, listen. I said, bro, you gotta take a leadership role. You gotta be he's the second man in command now. He's from Africa. Now we got HHF Africa, Nigeria, and he set up a chapter in Haiti. So you know, I mean,
Dope.
yeah, this my man
He's
though.
gonna teach
My
him.
man, this my man. You know, he the only one that, you know, when I'm really going astray, that sit down and say, brother, no, don't do that, brother.
Right.
In the village, we will cut you for that. He said, you get cut, brother. You get cut in the village for that. Don't do that. You're from Africa, brother. Don't do that.
That's right.
Your ancestors were like that. I said, okay, brother. I changed course, and he was right. He be right.
That's right.
Yes. Yep. You know what I'm saying? When one can't see himself, others discover
him most
thee
plainly.
most plainly. Absolutely.
Audible.com, Pimpology, The 40 Laws of Game, and The Art of Human Chess. That's a masterpiece. You definitely want to get that.
Okay.
If you don't know how to think, that book will teach you how to become a master for chess player.
There we go. Well, yeah, y'all, this been a dynamic show.
Dynamic.
We want to thank you, Ivy Bay, Brother Vado, for coming out. You know, we also, you know, want to extend, you know, the love to everybody on this panel, man. You know, we do this for the uplifting of fallen humanity.
Yes, we do.
You know, and as I said, man, you know, stay tuned with us because we always got something that's going to turn your brain to water. Peace and love.
Hey.
With the evil in my residential. It was all emojis, it was never mental. The silver spoon is under fire, and the pressure vent hit. The times that we live in unprecedented.